Hey everyone, Michelle here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my August TBR video. Now, I didn't do a TBR for July because of my slump in June. I mood read for July. If you haven't seen my weekly vlogs, spoiler alert, that's been going really well. But I did miss having a TBR. Now, I didn't want to go back to doing a readathon because I know there were all readathons happening in August. Being completely honest, I did look at the prompts, and while there were some books I could put to a couple of the prompts, I didn't want to put that pressure on myself, so I'm not doing the Royal Readathon. I know there are other readathons. There is a Discord that I'm in that's all about readathons throughout the year, like each month. It's great. I will put a link down below if I remember. So there are a few more going on there. I'm not participating. I'm gonna mood read, I will say, this month, but there are 3 books I definitely want to read, and then there are other books that I would love to read. Hence, I'll set myself a little TBR and see how we go. The first 2 books on my TBR are for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge by Chantel. I believe that's her name. I will link her channel down below. Looking at my shelves, and I found my page of the prompts and the books, I realised I didn't read July's book, and obviously if I'm doing a TBR, I may as well put August's book on there. I will update you on June's book with that one, because June's book I actually unhauled without reading. So on my update on Read Your Bookshelf, May's prompt was to read a book longer than April's book. April's book was The Dragon's Promise. May's book was Daughters of Night. I didn't end up reading that month. I still haven't read it, so technically that one's not been done yet. June's book was June's prompt is to read a book that is has half the number of letters in the title than May's book. Daughters of Night was 16 letters, so for June it was an 8-letter title. The only book I had for that was Wolfsong, and still is, I think. I unhauled Wolfsong by TJ Klune without reading it. Simply for the fact that when I went through my bookshelves, because I did a little bit of an unhaul, I read the blurb of it again. I read the synopsis of it again, and I realised I had no interest in that book at all. Now I know my friends have thoroughly enjoyed that series, each their own. I still will probably read TJ Klune's standalones, but not the series. I forgot to mention, you don't have to read these in a month order. You can read these whatever order you want, so hence the reason I'm not really panicking about this. So July's prompt is to read a book set in a different country or world from June's book. Going off Wolfsong, I can't remember quite correctly, but it's either set in America or set in a fictional world. So I had lots of room for July. So the book I've selected for July is The Handover by David M. Barnett. Daisy is a night security guard at the Manchester Museum of Social History. She takes her job very seriously, protecting the museum from teenage troublemakers. Nate works a day shift, though he'd be more suited as a museum guide the way he chats with the visitors. Daisy doesn't approve. How does he find it so easy to talk to strangers? For 5 minutes each day their shifts overlap at handover. He passes the torch over to Daisy, always with a smile on his face, and she asks him for a full report of the day, which he gives reluctantly. It's the only interaction they have, until mysterious things begin to happen at the museum. They soon discover they have a lot more in common than they realised, and their investigations uncover more than just the truth. Could they have feelings for one another? For August, the prompt is to read a book in the same genre as your July book. Now, I believe The Handover is like a cosy mystery thriller, so I've gone with mystery thriller. And for August, I have gone for The Appeal by Janice Hallett. There is a mystery to solve in the small town of Lockwood. It starts with the arrival of 2 secretive newcomers and ends with a tragic death. Roderick Tanner QC has assigned law students Charlotte and Femi to the case. Someone has already been sent to prison for murder, but he suspects that they are innocent, and that far darker secrets have yet to be revealed. Throughout the Amateur Dramatic Society's disastrous staging of All My Sons and the shady charity appeal for little girls' medical treatment, the murderer hid in plain sight. Will Charlotte and Femi solve the case? Will you? Now, the third book on my TBR is only on there because it's a massive book and I have 2 weeks off at the beginning of August, and I thought this would be the perfect time for me to attempt to read it. I'm not sure if I will like this, I'm going to be honest. I will be a bit harsher on this one, and if I don't like it, if I don't like it, if it's 3 stars, borderline 2.5 by like the 30-40% mark, it will be an ENF. And that book is The Embroidered Book by Kate Hartfield. Look at the chonker. This should be up my alley, but something's telling me it's not. The price of power is steep. None know that more than women. 1768. Charlotte, daughter of the Habsburg Empress, arrives in Naples to marry a man she has never met. Her sister Antoine is sent to France, and in the mirrored corridors of Versailles, they rename her Marie Antoinette. The sisters are alone, but they are not powerless. When they were only children, they discovered a book of spells at work, with dark and unpredictable consequences. In a time of vicious court politics, a discovery and dizzying change, they use a book to take control of their lives. But every spell requires a sacrifice, and as love between sisters turns to rivalry, they will send Europe spiralling into revolution. I'm a history nerd. I love history. This should be up my alley. It's European royals. It should be up my alley. There's just something that is telling me I'm not going to enjoy it that much. But I'm going to give it a good shot. But if I'm not feeling it by the 40% mark, it's a DNF. But we're going in positive. We're going in positive. Because it is quite big. I think it's like 700 pages. I want to... Oh no, 650. 655 pages. So I'm going to split this down into 7 and read like a section each day, just so I don't get too bored. Now, for the rest of the month, there is 3 ways it could go. So I'm either going to mood read for the rest of the month, which probably would do my reading mojo world good for another month. Or, so the second way I could select my books is, you may have known that a few months ago I used a Christmas present that Ada got me for my TBR. It's Ada's birthday in August, so I'm thinking to honour Ada, I may bring the TBR tarot cards back. And yeah, it's what I'm thinking. Ada, though, because I know you watch my videos, if you do know a book on my shelves that you're like, I really want you to read this book, let me know and I'll probably read that book for you. On my third option is from the pile of books that you may notice that are missing from the top of my shelves. My sequel series pile. So yeah, as you can tell, I have quite a lot of sequels to read, and some of these finish duologies, some of them carry on the series, some of them finish trilogies. So I would love to get a few of these read this month. Now I could combine all 3 of them options. I could mood read a sequel. I could select a tarot card that adds to a sequel, or I could just pick a sequel up. Who knows? I'm hoping I'll get through these in the 2 weeks I've got off work, and then I can do one of the 3 options, but who knows? But that's the end of this TBR video. Despite the fact there's only 3 books on my TBR, I have a feeling this is a bit longer than like 5 minutes like I thought it would be. If you'd liked this video, please give it a like. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Michelle, and my life, like my reading, is a chaotic mess. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. If you don't want to, no worries. If you want to go back and see what my videos are normally like, have fun. But until the next video, bye.